So I did the first example solve many months ago, and I think I just chose a random scramble without making sure that it goes through a bunch of cases that you could run into. So this example solve goes over starting new cycles, handling flipped pieces, and it doesn't include parity, but the other example solve already includes parity. So anyway, let's start the example solve. So the order that I do things in is memorize corners, memorize edges, and then solve edges, and then solve corners. All right, now keep in mind I'll be using the SPEF's lettering scheme, which goes A, B, C, D around clockwise for every side, so E, F, G, H, and so on all the way around, and a link to that is in the description. So starting with looking at the buffer location, this is the green of the yellow, green, orange. So the yellow, green, orange spot is here, and the green sticker goes here. So this is the letter L. That's the first thing I'll memorize. Now this one needs to go over to here, this spot, and it's the blue sticker. So I'll choose this spot here, which is the letter Q. And just continuing like this is the yellow sticker here, which needs to go over to here, which is the letter V. This one needs to go over to here, which is the letter T. This one needs to go, the sticker needs to go here, which is the letter I. And then this one now goes back to the buffer piece. So not necessarily the buffer location, but even if it goes just back to the buffer piece, then we stop memorizing at this point. I'm not going to memorize, even though it goes to A, since A is on the buffer location, I'm not going to memorize it. Next, I'm going to do a new cycle. So how to start a new cycle is to pick any unsolved piece. In this case, I only have two unsolved pieces left, which is this one and this one. So of these two, I can pick whichever one I want. So let's just pick this sticker over here. Next, what I would do is see where this would go and just follow it all the way through till I get back to this piece. Not necessarily the same sticker, it just needs to come back to the same piece. And then I'm going to memorize this piece again. So this piece is going to begin and end the cycle. So we start with this one over here just because I chose it randomly. This is the letter C, and this one needs to go over to here, which is the letter X. And then this one needs to go over to here, which is the letter M. And even though we didn't end up back at the same sticker, it is the same piece, so the cycle is over. And now we visited every single piece on the cube, every corner on the cube, so the memorization here is done. All right, now we're going to do the edges, and just like before, we start by looking at what's in the buffer location, which is this spot. So the first thing you do is see where this one goes, and this green of the green-red goes over to here. So this one is the letter J, and we'll memorize that. And then next, this one goes over to here, which is the letter I. This one goes over to here, which is the letter S. And then this one goes here, which is F. This one goes over to here, which is G. This one goes here, which is D. And then this one goes back to the buffer location. So whenever a piece goes back to the buffer location, that's when we end the cycle, and we do not memorize where it goes. So we never memorize anything on the buffer location because we can't swap with that spot. Next, what we do is start a new cycle because we have not gone to all the edge pieces on the cube yet. Particularly the ones we have not gone to yet are this one, and these two, and this one back here. So let's start by going to this one over here. So this is the letter U. So the first thing we do is memorize the letter U, and then we just trace through until we get back to this piece. Not necessarily the letter U, it just needs to come back to either of these two spots. So it could also be the letter K. All right, so we do the letter U and then see where this one goes. This one goes over to here, which is the letter Q. And then this one comes back to here, which is the letter K. Now, since we come back to the same place the cycle started, we're going to do another new cycle. So this time, let's start with this one over here. So remember, you can pick any unsolved piece to start a new cycle with, so I'm just picking at random here. So this one is the letter V. The letter V here, the red sticker goes over to here, which is the letter N. And then this one comes back to here, which is the letter V again. So that's the third cycle done. And lastly, there's one piece we haven't visited yet, and that is this one. So this is just a flipped edge, but you can think of it also as a cycle. All you have to do is pick where you want to start. Let's start with this one. So this is H. And then where does H need to go? Well, this blue sticker needs to go here, which is the letter R. So we have HR and that ends the cycle. So it doesn't seem like much of a cycle because it's the same piece both times, but it's the same exact thing as a cycle. You start with an unsolved piece and you end the cycle when you get back to the same piece. So in other words, you can think of unsolved edges as just picking one of the stickers then picking the other one, but you can also think of it as a cycle of two letters if it makes sense that way. All right, now that actually covers every single edge here. So now we can go into the solution. So remember, this is the spot that we swap with, and this is the buffer. So remember, we want to do setup moves to put pieces up to here, this sticker spot specifically, and then do a swapping algorithm, which is the T-perm, and then undo the setup moves. So the setup moves for any letter is all in the tutorial's description. So you can go check that out if you're ever confused, but you shouldn't need to memorize them all. It's all conceptual. So let's start by just going through all the letters. The letter J, this one, to get it up to here, remember we don't want to disturb these three pieces. So we do this, and then like that, swap, and then undo that. So if you were blindfolded, you wouldn't be able to tell, but now this J piece is solved. So the next one we go to is I, which is this one here. We can move it into the bottom face, move it over, then move it up to the top. Swap, and undo the setup moves. All right, now I'm going to go a little bit faster, but if you're confused about the setup moves, you can always just go look at the tutorial's description. So now we go to the letter S, which is this one here, like this. All right, now it's the letter F, so like this. Undo. Letter G. All right, now the letter D, which has no setup move. All right, so that ends the first cycle. And visually, if you want to know what it looks like to have ended a cycle, it's just that this piece, the buffer piece, is now in the correct position. Not necessarily solved, it's just in the correct position. So for our new cycle, we go to the letter U, which is this one here. And then the letter Q, which is here. And then to the letter K here. All right, next our third cycle, which starts with the letter V here. Then the letter N here. Then back to the letter V. All right, now lastly, we have H and then R. So H is like this. And then R is like this. All right, and that solves all the edges. If we had parity, we would do the parity algorithm right now before starting corners, which is the R-perm. But since there's an even number of corners and edges, there is no parity, so we can just go straight into corners. So for corners, we first have the letter L here. So we want to move this one into here, this position. So what you can do is something like this, which gets that piece here. Do the swapping algorithm, and then undo the setup moves. All right, then the next one is the letter Q, which is this one here. You can do this, swap, and then undo. The next one is the letter V, which is just the swapping position, so we don't have to do a setup move. And now we have the letter T, which is back here. You can just do R, and then swap, and then undo. Now we have I, so we can do this, undo the setup moves. And then now the first cycle is done, and we have the second cycle, which starts with the letter C here. And then so we can move it down to here like this. Swap and undo setup moves. And then next we have the letter X. So D2 moves it here. And now we have the letter M. So we can move it down here like this, swap, and undo that. And that solves the cube. So if you have a question, you can just leave a comment on this video, or you can message me from my Facebook page. The link is in the description, and I'll be happy to help you. All right, I hope this clears things up for everybody, and I guess I'll see you all next time.